Hi everyone and welcome to day 5 of the 12 days of enrichment feeding. So today we're going to look at a way of presenting vegetables in quite an exciting, interesting way. So this is going to be vegetable kebabs, or sometimes known as kabobs. So you can buy a kind of properly made kit to do this from pet shops around the place. It involves a little steel kind of centre spike and then some stuff you can screw on either end, and then you basically thread. They tend to sell them threaded on with wood chews and that kind of things, but you can take the wood chews off and stick vegetables on it. Now, I used to own one of them. I've lost it, so clearly it was well used. What I tend to use instead is good old trusty bamboo skewers. And you can make very good veg kebab on this and display it in all sorts of interesting ways for the rats. The idea again is make it a little bit hard for them to get to it, make them having to work and to think before they do things. So I've got a range of different vegetables here. What I'm going to do is make a slightly more interesting themed one than usual. So I'm going to for now, thread various things on here. So I've got some sweet pepper there. Haven't bothered de-seeding it. The rats will quite enjoy doing that themselves. Some mushrooms. Some rats like mushrooms, some do not so much. Carrot. Carrot's great, though to be fair, if you feed too much of it and they're not used to it, then it can be quite interesting. They tend to get the runs a bit from that, so you do have to watch that one. I'm just going to stick various things on. Kiwifruit, so we gave a bit of this in the egg boxes a while ago, and it went down quite well. Cherry tomatoes, because I have some left, and again, they're great. A lot of this, if you're really interested in what's kind of okay to feed rats, there's a massive list on my website, unasamirats.co.uk, that I would recommend you having a look at. It will cover basically most things. If I've missed it off there, it may still be safe, it's just have a good look. But all of this I'm serving raw because raw is great for them, it's full of nutrients. There's some vegetables you have to be careful with, but all the stuff that I'm feeding today is absolutely fine to be done raw. So one of the reasons I like these bamboo skewers is they're pointy at the end. So I just got carrot squirted. And by being pointy at the end, that means that I don't have to work too hard to get the stuff on most of the time, apart from the carrot, which is a little bit harder work than usual. So I'm just going to make up various ones here. I could add more on, but I'm going to try and make these into an interesting shape later on, so we shall see how it goes. Just make up a couple more. Ideally without poking myself. I am quite accident prone, so hopefully you don't get to see me bleed on any of these videos, but it's probably going to happen at some point. A bit more cucumber, and let's go for a bit more kiwi. Right, so I've now got 6 very simple vegetable kebabs. Try and get this one off. This is a very stubborn one apparently. Oops, we just lost part of our mushroom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm trying to kind of display these in a little bit of a different way. So I've decided to try and be festive. This happens occasionally and it's near Christmas. So I'm basically just going to use a bit of string, and again I just use this kind of garden twine that I use quite a lot, and I'm going to use it just to tie a few together. So I've wrapped it around a couple of times and then wrapping it around again and tying it off. It doesn't need to be super secure because bearing in mind that the rats are going to destroy this, you just need it to last for a little while. I'll try and not take too long on this, not get you too bored. But feel free to fast forward if you don't want to see me tying knots for a period of time. If I was smart, I'd figure out how to do that on the video myself, but sadly not. Apparently engineering doesn't teach you how to do technical stuff. Right, so we have one triangle with various bits on it. And let's do the other. One thing I should note about the vegetables here is I always try and have a lot of different coloured vegetables. So generally speaking, different colours offer different vitamins and minerals. So your brightly coloured things like your kind of carrots and tomatoes and peppers and such are really great for vitamin C. Your dark green stuff is much better for kind of your kind of calciums and that kind of thing. I haven't actually got any kale or anything in here. In an ideal world I would have, but my kale and my spring greens, which are great for dark green leafy veg stuff, is currently in the freezer, and frozen stuff doesn't lend itself to going on kebabs so well. Right, so now I've done that, what I'm going to do, so these all have quite sharp points on them, so I'm just using a good pair of scissors and I'm cutting off the points. In reality the rats are probably not going to do much, but rats can also be clumsy too, and I would rather avoid them impaling themselves on a veg skewer. Oops. So I managed to undo one of them. I shouldn't have probably not cut corners on that and done my proper knots on both sides of the wood. Right, so now we have two triangles. My idea is, with a bit of shuffling, is I should now be able to make the rats a Christmas veg kebab star. Apart from this bit of carrot, which is being awkward again. Note to self, carrot does not like moving very much. Sorry, if you notice my tongue sticking out at any point, that means I'm concentrating. It's a family trait. They're somewhat repaired. And we are roughly getting there. Make sure the veg overlaps nicely. And there, and I'm just going to use a bit of string to secure that in place, and then we've in theory got a very nice festive foraging star for them. I'll leave a bit of string free again so I can attach it well to the cage. Right, let's move you a little bit. So, ignoring the fact it's not the most regular of stars, here we go. So I'm going to hang that up in the cage. So as before, I'm just going to pause this and I'm going to bring you over to the cage and see what the girls make of it. Right, everybody's very excited about this special star, so we shall see how quickly they destroy it. So, we're straight in. You're missing something, Luna? What's up here? Ooh! I can see you, thing. So we've got some interest straight away, and again, they're having to kind of reach up to get it. At some point they will just pull this apart. To be honest, it's not the most structurally sound of stars. Ellie, I know it's nice to lick me, but there's food. What's up here? What's up here, Missy? Yes, yes, carrot. So it's a nice variety as well. So part of the enrichment is in offering the different variety of vegetables for them as well. So it's quite exciting for them, as well as it being a little bit harder for work for them to get to. You can see that they're quite enjoying that. Apparently Chocobo really enjoys tomatoes. And the rest of the girls have just gone to check that I haven't started scatter feeding because they quite like their dry mix. But I suspect they'll be back up soon. Thank you, Luna, you're lovely. And yep, a bit of Kiwifruit, they quite like their fruit. So yes, once they've checked that there's nothing better on offer, they'll come back and have a bit more time on it. We're already lost a couple of bits of vegetables, so they've chewed them off effectively, and they'll do that in some cases they just pull it apart. But it's going down very, very well. So over and out from me and the gang today, and see you tomorrow.